Assalamualaikum bachcho. There was a little change in the schedule, that's why we got confused. So we are a little bit late with the lecture, but it's okay. As we have two lectures together, so we will cover both the topics very easily. Today we will do Trichinella spiralis, but I will like to just a little review about tissue nematodes with you. Medically important nematodes can be divided into two different categories. One is intestinal nematodes, the other one is tissue nematodes. In the intestinal nematodes, you have Entropius vermicularis, Trichuris trichuria, Trichinella spiralis, Ascaris lumbricoides, and Necator americans and Strongyloides terricularis. All these are covered except the C1, which we will discuss today. That is Trichinella spiralis. Tissue nematodes includes Wucheria bancrofti, which we have already done yesterday, on Carrera villalis, and Loa Loa and Regulus. This will be covered by Dr. Rouge today, inshallah. This is also a small diagrammatic picture of how you can distribute these four tissue nematodes. Same for this one, and this is from your book. So this should be must be go through this because it's important. At least you have some idea about it. This elephantiasis you already have covered. Just a little review. If you can see that the main infection is due to the filarial parasite spread by the mosquito, and then the disease spread in the vessels. Normal vessel is this thick, while the dilated vessel is this one. And 856 million people are at risk because of this. More common in the African areas, and it can be prevented or cured more than 97 million cases. And the elimination is large-scale treatment of the high-risk patients to spread, and by controlling the vector, that is the mosquito. And morbidity is due to disability, and you have to prevent it in order to cure the disease. Diagnosis is made by different methods you should know by now. This is also a very interesting picture for Wucheria bancrofti, in which you can see the worm inside the eyes. The main topic which we have to cover today is Trichinella spiralis. Trichinella spiralis causes trichinosis. If you go for the scientific classification, it belongs to Animalia, and the phylum is called nematode. And the phylum is called nematode. The class is Adenophoria. Order is Trichidae, and family is Trichinellidae, and genus is Trichinella. The species is called spiralis. So the Trichinella spiralis is the name of this disease, which is medically important. The important properties are that any mammal can be infected, but the pigs are the most important reservoirs for the human disease in United States, except the state Alaska, where the bears constitute the reservoir. Means that the pigs are replaced by the bears in this state, that is Alaska. Otherwise, pigs are the main reservoir. As we are not having pig as food, So Alhamdulillah, we are saved from Trichinella to a large number of extent. The humans are infected by eating raw or undercooked meat containing larvae encysted in the muscle tissue. The larvae exist and mature into the adult within the mucosa of the small intestine, and egg hatches within the adult female, and larvae are released and distributed via the bloodstream to many organs. However, they develop only in the striated muscles. So which muscles are important in this case for trichinella spiralis? It's striated muscles. Within these nerve cells, they exist within a fibrous capsule and can remain viable for several years, but eventually calcify. So if you see, this is a striated muscle. This is a striated muscle, and these are the larvae which are encysted inside these muscles. These one, this one. If you see this one. In the cycle, what happened is, if you see, this is a very interesting picture which easily explain you that either they are
मैम
coming.
स्लाइड्स नहीं आ रही मैम, स्लाइड्स नहीं चल रही बिल्कुल भी,
वो आपकी
शो नहीं हो रही हमें।
ओके बेटा, एक सेकंड।
अब नजर आ रही है?
नहीं है, नहीं चल रही, नहीं चल रही।
दोबारा देखें।
नहीं ब्रदर, नहीं चल रही।
कौन सी साइड है इस वक्त आपके पास?
मैम इस टाइम माय कंप्यूटर खुला हुआ है जी, डेस्कटॉप नजर आ रहा है इस टाइम। माय कंप्यूटर ओपन हुआ हुआ सिर्फ।
ठीक है, एक मिनट में करता हूं। नमान, अब नजर आ रहा है?
जी, अब नजर आ रही है।
I will repeat the slides, don't worry. I will repeat the slides again and again. This is the main cycle. If you see that these are the, in first case, the pigs are the reservoirs, and they are having the striated muscles with encysted larva, which is taken up by the human if uncooked or rawly cooked, and then it went into the human body from the gut in the blood, and from there the larvae released in the small intestine, and where the mature adult becomes mature, and the eggs hatch inside the female, and the larva deposited the muscle into the muscle tissue. Inside the muscle tissue, where it will be released by, later on it will be calcified. Similarly for the other part, where the bears, excuse me, where the bear are replaced by the pigs, and these bear muscle tissue is having the disease, and the people who are from the forest, they are having this thing from the pig, either not from the pigs but from the bears, their muscle tissues. This is also, it's a little faded picture, but it's very easy if you want to understand. First is the accidental host. Mainly the humans are not the main host, they are accidental host. If they get the muscle tissue of pigs or bear, where these small encysted larvae are present in the striated muscles of the pigs. So if you're having that raw food, then you can have this one, from where they get into the intestinal tract, and through blood they will get into the final destination, that is muscle. In the muscle, they become calcified later on. What is pathogenesis? A few days after eating undercooked meat, usually pork, the patient experiences diarrhea, followed up by 1 to 2 weeks later by fever and muscle pain. The periorbital edema and eosinophilia are the later on symptoms. The subconjunctival hemorrhages are an important diagnostic criteria. Size of the cardiac and central nervous system disease are frequent because the larvae migrate to these tissues as well. Death, which is rare, is usually due to congestive heart failure or respiratory paralysis, because in your respiratory muscles, they are also striated muscles. So if they get jammed and they're not moving frequently because of those encysted larvae inside the muscle tissue, will lead to the respiratory paralysis. Or if they are going in the congestive heart failure, the patient is going into congestive heart failure, that can also be a reason of death. Trachanalus varus encysted, this is how it gets encysted. This is your muscle tissue. This is the venule of that particular part of the muscle. And then these are the larvae. Now it gets attached to it. The collagen capsule become engraved inside the venule, small sinusoids and venules, and this larva get encysted. So basically it is doing what? It is taking up all the blood from the venules and encysting on it. Trachinosis occur worldwide, especially in the Eastern Europe and West Africa. In the United States, it is related to the eating home-prepared sausages, and usually on farms where the pigs are fed uncooked garbage. Beer and sea meats are also sources. In many countries, the disease occurs primarily in the hunters who eat undercooked wild games. Means when they are hunting the bears, they eat undercooked bear. That's why this is happening. Now, after this, we will diagnosis. The direct diagnosis can be occurring or the indirect. There are two methods how you will diagnose. In the indirect method, basically what you do is you test the body response in spite of the direct diagnosis like history and physical examination, as I told you. In the indirect method, what you will do is you will see the larval antigen, you insert the larval antigen into the body in this dilution form like 1 ratio 5,000 or 1 into 10,000 dilutions. And the wheel is there, a wheel reddish epidermal wheel will be present in 15 to 20 minutes. This is called Bachmann's intradermal test for Trachanella spiralis. The other indirect methods are detection of antibodies by ELISA or other responses. The direct method is through history and through PCR. Like you directly discover the worm inside the body. So that is occurring through the PCR and as well as from the ultrasound and X-rays of that particular area. What is the treatment? There is no treatment for trichinosis, but for the patients with severe symptoms, you give steroids plus mebendazole or albendazole and can be tried in order to get them better. Thiabendazole is effective against the adult intestinal worm infestation, and early in the infection, it is very useful if you are going through. How you can prevent? By not eating pig or bear. Secondly, if you want to eat, you have to cook it properly. So, and make sure that if you are, some people not in our place in the Europe, if they are having pigs in their farmhouses, they should not be cooked. Should not be feeded on the undercooked garbage. I will revise everything. Just for your attendance, I will ask a question. What are the muscles which are involved in Trachanella spiralis? What are the muscles involved in the Trachanella spiralis? It's a very easy question if you're listening. Which are the muscles which are involved in the Trachanella spiralis? Which are the muscles which are involved in the Trachanella spiralis infection? All right. You all are responding. That means you get something out of the lecture. So I will repeat again because the slides were missing as Naman told us. And I will just go through all the slides once again. Today we discussed the last nematode which was left from the blood nematodes, intestinal nematodes, that is Trachanella spiralis. It looks like something like this. It has a very spiral shape. That's why it's called spiralis. The disease is called trichinosis. I told you about the kingdom and phylum. Then important properties, as I told you, that are that they are mostly reservoirs are the pigs in the United States. Except the Alaska, where the bears are the main constituent as reservoirs. If you see this slide, this is the main spiral tissue. This is an important slide as far as your OSPE is concerned, because when you're having OSPE, we can put this type of slide in your OSPE for parasitology. You can see these are the encysted larvae inside the muscle tissue. This is the muscle fiber, trident muscle fiber. This one is also lava. This is also lava. This is lava. This is biopsy of strident muscle. This was the main cycle which I told you before, that the pigs or the bears are involved as a second reservoir. Humans are involved as far as the intestine is concerned. In the intestine, the larvae become infested, and then they become mature male and female adults. And these, in the female, it lays eggs, and the layers get ruptured inside the female, and they are hatched as small larvae are deposited inside encysted larvae. Small encysted larvae are get fixed in the strident muscles, and later on they become calcified. And this one also we did. This is also important as far as your pathology is concerned. Then we discussed the Bachmann intradermal test. This is very important. The direct methodology of diagnosis is that you directly find the worm or any pathogen inside. The indirect means that you will not go for the direct presence of the worm, but you will see the response of your body, that your body will respond according to it or not. So you will put the antigen out from outside, and then you will see the reaction of the body from inside. And as I told you, the treatment is not any particular treatment there, but the main is melbendazole and steroids are added to the patient if severely getting sick. And that's all for today for this lecture. If you have any questions, you can ask. Anybody? You want to ask something? I hope it is clear. Okay, thank you. Dr. Rouge will join you in a little time. Thank you.
बंद कर दो, एंड कर दो।